What's up, MMA fans? It's your boy, man. I'm finally back. I try to do this more often when I can. It's just, I get too lazy to make the videos. Then after I make them, I get too lazy waiting for YouTube to approve them. Like I just made one. I think this is my second attempt or something. Anyway, here we are, UFC 91, Couture versus Lesnar. Um, as you know, after like 14 months, this was Couture's return to the octagon after, a much publicized legal dispute with the UFC and Zuffa. I think I made it a little, I gave my opinion a little bit in an earlier video on Couture. I tried not to say too much, or I may say too much, who knows. Anyway, he's up against the next big thing, Brock Lesnar, and in Brock Lesnar's fourth MMA fight. I mean, he was I think a favorite to win because of his sheer physicality, and that's just basically what this was about. I got it handed to Randy Couture. He came in with the game plan. He trained his ass off. He has great skills, great experience, and he gave the big man a lot more trouble than I thought he would, especially in the clinch. Especially with wrestling and everything. He really held his own physically for a while until that point. Brock, you could tell he was noticeably nervous. In fact, he looked like he was starting to get a little tired, especially towards the end. But you could tell, I got to hand it to Brock too. That he was performing on a very big stage in the biggest fight of his life, and you could tell that his nerves were kind of there, but he was able to overcome his nerves, and whoop whoop Randy's ass basically. I think Randy, like, he dinged him up with a good right. I think it was a left hand or something, and gave him a big knee to the head, outside in the clinch. Just showing that he has some great tricks. But I kind of compare this to fighting a polar bear. No matter how big, no matter how strong you are, no matter how much you train, no matter how much tape of the bear you watch, eventually that thing's just gonna slap the shit out of you and eat you. And that's basically what happened. I mean, Brock got him one good time in the back of the head. I think, like, you can almost kind of compare it to the way I saw it, probably to the GSP Matt Serra, or Keith Jardine versus Wanderlei Silva. You get caught in the back of that head right there, and you can't. And the next thing you know, you're bang, 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 Donkey Kong, and that's just basically what happened to Couture. He got caught and finished, and we have a new champion. Big props to, I was very happy to see Brock win. I'm also very happy to see Randy Couture lose, even though I do have a lot of respect for him. I do find him kind of irritating. But that's a whole nother thing. The man came in, I mean, to his credit, I don't think his 45 years of age really had a factor in it. I think the 45 pounds and some change that he gave up to Brock Lesnar was what did it. He performed pretty good. He did very good in the fight, but Lesnar was just too much. Moving right along, you got my boy. I finished fights! Kenny Florian taking on Joe Daddy Stevenson. I was a little worried going into this fight because everyone knows about, Joe Daddy's strength, and, especially on the ground, and the way he can just wrap his arm around you and put that guillotine on you and just squeeze your head off. Kenny Florian, I mean, he's known for a finesse fighter. He's known for his finesse. The Muay Thai and his jiu-jitsu background. Earlier in his UFC career, he was able to get overpowered or struck with. But this man, I mean, I think it's really great the kind of just how he has evolved and how he has grown into such a complete dangerous fighter. I mean, I'm a big fan of Kenny Florian already, but I'm an even bigger fan with each passing performance. People, try to say he was running like a cheetah or like Starnes. Just like, yeah, they can fuck off. I mean, he fights smart, he fights well, he fights with heart, and he just took it to Joe Daddy today. People talk about the fence grab, whatever. Maybe the ref will deduct a point. Yeah. Add a minute to the finish. I mean, that really didn't affect the outcome of the fight. He basically kicked Joe Daddy's ass. He didn't have really an answer for him, and really just showed why he is the #1 contender. It wasn't just hype. And, you know, Kenny Florian, I think he can beat BJ. You never know. He may well just be another victim, but I think he has the work ethic. He has the skills. He has the danger. And, you know, he has the drive and focus to be a champion. I think he can do it again. I think he can do it again and beat a #1 contender. He's definitely an elite lightweight. You know, it's now time for y'all to stop hating. Ken Flo, he's finished his fights. He brings it every time. Stop hating on Kenny Florian. He's the man. I mean, the rest of the fight card, I mean, just it featured some, you know, some great knockouts like Gabriel Gonzaga. I mean, shoot, my brother was just saying he needs to shave everything on him. I mean, the dude is just hairy. He's an animal. Dude's he got more hair than your average animal. But I pointed out, man, he shaved Josh Hendricks right there. He almost shaved his face off with that right hand and took it to the ground. I don't know what the hell. Who is it? Steve Mazzagatti. I don't know what the hell his problem is. It seems like every fight that Steve Mazzagatti refs, he just forgets. I mean, he just turns into an audience and just sits up there and just wants to watch. You know, he'll watch the fight instead of reffing the fight. I mean, what is he, a masochist or something? He just wants to see people get their ass whooped. I mean, wants to see people get hurt really bad. You saw him get hit. He's on the ground. He doesn't know where he is. He has his hand up. I mean, you can see right there, it's about time that when he goes down there and hits him, I mean, I knew it. Everybody in the room knows it. Gonzaga knows it. Everyone in the crowd knows it. Stop the fucking fight. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I think he did it in another fight too, but I'm not going to get all up into that, talking about a ref. Who cares? Whew. Even though I think he did the same thing in the Jeremy Stevens fight if he ref that. I mean, you got bam. I mean, it's like you got to get on top of that. When someone's lights go out, you have to be somewhere in the area to stop the fight. And, whew, Jeremy Stevens, beautiful uppercut. I mean, just like the one that, let me see, Junior Dos Santos used to knock Verdum out of the UFC. Yeah, bye-bye, title shot. I mean, great fight. I mean, oh, shoot, what else happened? I had my boy Dustin Hazlett. He was going up against Tanner McCrory. Got him in a very, what was it, an arm bar, omoplata? We'll call it an arm platter. Anyway, at the end of that fight, he served Tanner McCrory his arm on a platter. I mean, it was nasty seeing that arm jerk like that. He looked to be okay at the end of the fight, and that's good. But, Dustin Hazlett, he's when it comes to submission, he is an awesome. I mean, he is awesome. His stand-up's really good too, but I think he's just way too small. I mean, he doesn't pack a lot of punch. He has great reflexes. I mean, he can catch with some clean high kicks, some clean knees and punches, but really doesn't make his opponent move like they're supposed to. You know, I think like the combination he caught Josh Koscheck with a high kick and a flying knee. That should finish people in your weight class, but it just doesn't pack enough punch to do it. But once the fight goes to the ground, he's like a fish that gets thrown in the water. He's naturally in his element. He knows exactly what he's doing, and that's why he's a black belt. That's why he gets submission of the night every time he steps out. Speaking of Dustin Hazlett's jiu-jitsu, I don't know what is up with the guy who taught him this jiu-jitsu. I mean, I don't know why, George Gurgel won't do jiu-jitsu. I mean, I hear he wants to talk about exciting fights. I'm sick of fighters talking about exciting fights. I think mixed martial arts is exciting. I think mixed martial arts is a show. When you go out there to fight, you're putting on a show. Damian Maia puts on a show. Hazlett puts on a show. Wanderlei, Rampage, they put on shows. I don't want you to fight specifically for my entertainment. You should fight because it's entertaining. That's what I want. Caleb Starnes does. That's the only thing I don't consider entertainment. What Nate Corey did, that was entertaining. But, anyway, great fights, Good times were had by all. Can't wait for the next one. I'll be big on that one. I'll see y'all later, alright?